Okay everybody, so today we're unboxing the Realme GT6, and in case you guys haven't noticed, Realme has been launching phones like pew 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 pew. I am not complaining though. I'm actually very happy that Realme is back in the game. Anyway, this phone, the Realme GT6, is basically a better version of the Realme GT6T that I unboxed a couple of weeks ago. It's actually got a better build quality than the GT6T, better performance, and most importantly, a better camera setup. The Realme GT6 is priced at 40,000 Indian rupees for the 8 to 56GB variant, and with offers and everything, you can get it for some 36,000 rupees, which is exactly 7,000 less than the Realme GT6T. Anyway, let's unbox this quickly and get started. So the box is a standard Realme box. Inside we have another paper box which has our usual stuff basically. So we have a silicone case which looks something like this, and we have our SIM ejector, some paperwork. Next up we have the phone, and here it is. And in case you guys didn't notice it, it's very similar to the Realme GT6T. Okay, never mind. Then we have a 120-watt adapter here, and then we get a USB Type-A to Type-C cables to go with it. Okay, so let's start with the design, and as I said, these two phones look exactly the same, but the build quality on these are different. The Realme GT6 has a glass back and also has a better heft, as well as it's slightly heavier, and also the GT6 sounds better. Check this out. Anyway, you can see that the GT6 has a curved design both on the front as well as the back, and overall the feel of this phone is very premium on the hands. Now honestly, I am not a fan of this dual tone finish, but I do have to give it to Realme. The GT6 does feel like you are holding a premium phone. But there are a few things I wish Realme did better. Like number one, it has no glass protection on the back, like none, which is a little disappointing. And number two, since Realme is trying to tap into the premium segment, it would have been better if they had included metal frames instead of these plastic frames. And number three, there is only IP65 rating on this phone, which is very difficult for me to accept on a phone that costs 40,000 rupees in 2024. Even something that costs almost half, like the Motorola Edge 50 Fusion, has IP68 rating. Okay, so now let's talk about the display. And first of all, I really love that the bezels on this thing are so minimal. You can almost call it an edge-to-edge display. And second, it's basically a similar display as the Realme GT6T. It measures 6.78 inches. It's 120 Hz LTPO screen with a peak brightness of 6,000 nits. I did praise the screen of the Realme GT6T in my review, and I have the same admiration for the 6's display as well. It's a gorgeous display, especially if you're someone who watches a lot of content. The color reproduction here is nice, the contrast is amazing, and it is really responsive as well. Not to mention its brightness even under harsh sunlight is really good, and it can go very dim as well, which for people like me is a blessing. In fact, Realme has provided a different setting for extra brightness as well as lowest brightness. You also get Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection on the screen, which is something that I want to test out. So here goes. 1, 2, 3. It's fine. So overall, it's safe to say that it's a nice and almost flagship grade display. But I did find one thing which was a little weird here. Realme says that this phone has an LTPO screen that can go as low as 1 Hz and helps you save considerable amount of power and all that. But for some reason, the screen here does not go as low as 1 Hz. I have received 2 updates on this phone so far, and before the second update, the refresh rate would go down to 1 Hz, but now there seems to be some sort of an issue. This was not something that happened on the Realme GT6T, so I really hope that it's a software issue and it gets fixed soon. Also, this display has HDR support, but for some reason there is no HDR video playback support on Netflix here. The haptics on the Realme GT6 is amazing though. It's evident that Realme has borrowed Oppo's O haptics technology, which is a great move. Unlocking the fingerprint sensor, using the navigation buttons, typing, all of those feel really good and impactful. Best thing is that you can feel the vibration while going through the brightness and volume slider every step of the way, and the vibration is integrated very well with other UI elements as well, so I am very happy about that. Even the speakers sound great here. They are the same as the Realme GT6T actually, but I am not complaining because they're loud, they have no distortion and sound balance enough. Alright, so let's talk about the performance now, and here on the Realme GT6 we get the Snapdragon 8s Gen 3, which is a slightly inferior version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, along with LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.0 storage. Now we have tested this chipset already on the Poco F6 and we know how it works. It's almost a flagship level chipset, and here everything runs as smooth as butter, and playing games here is also a really good experience. In fact, this is the first Realme phone to ever support high FPS gameplay. For instance, you can achieve above of 100 FPS in PUBG here, and Genshin Impact also runs very smoothly at around 57 FPS, which is better than what we get on the Realme GT60. But I do have to tell you that because this phone is pushing a lot of power, it also gets heated up a bit. I have noted a maximum temperature of around 46 degrees while I played Genshin Impact. That was the case even when I tested the Poco F6, which has the same chipset, and I was getting a similar temperature result. But thanks to the large vapor chamber here, it does cool down fast, so that's great. Realme has also optimized the UI very well here. There are no lags or stutters anywhere, and you're also getting Android 14 out of the box with Realme UI 5.0. And good thing is that, like with most other phones that come in this price range, you get 3 years of software update and 4 years of security patches on this phone. In addition, Realme is also marketing this device as a killer phone with AI capabilities. Realme has added some AI features here, like you can long press on the screen like this to copy text and images, and the phone predicts your action to give you recommendations of various apps that it thinks you will use, and you can then share the text or the images to someone or copy it to notes. You have different options. Other AI features here are basically what we get on other phones, like AI object remover. So let's talk about the cameras now, and disclaimer, it is one of the best things about this phone. It has a triple camera setup, a 50 megapixel Sony LTY808 sensor, a 50 megapixel 2x telephoto lens, which is a Samsung JN5 sensor, and finally there is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. And as I said, the camera performance here is good, especially the telephoto camera. I have been able to take some stunning portraits from it. I took my sister out for a photo walk, and look at the subject focus, the color and everything here. It's very DSLR-like, and I love it. Normal photos from it are good too. You get really punchy output, and the photos look striking, which have rich contrast and nice dynamic range even against harsh sunlight. I compared it with the Realme GT60 to check how much improvement it has over it, and definitely the images from the GT6 look better in terms of dynamic range, colors, all of that thanks to the superior sensor and slightly better optimization. The ultra-wide-angle shots are just average though. The 8 megapixel sensor is not able to gather a lot of details, but the colors and everything looks nice enough, and you can get some good shots once in a while. However, I can't help but think if Realme had provided a higher res ultra-wide-angle sensor, and maybe with autofocus for macros, the Realme GT6 would have the most versatile camera setup in this very price range. But you can still click nice macro shots with its 2x telephoto lens. The nighttime capabilities of the Realme GT6 is great too. It is able to manage highlights and exposure in images very well. Realme says that they are using AI to make the images look better, and it indeed processes noise very well, especially if you compare it with the Realme GT60. The selfie camera here is the same as the GT60 though, and it even gives you similar output, and you also get 4K 30 FPS video recording here, which is great. The output is good enough in terms of colors and overall quality, but it's not very stable. From the back cameras though, you can shoot up to 4K 60 FPS, and the videos are quite nice. You will notice slight jitter sometimes, but nothing huge to complain about, so no issues. The phone does not let you switch to the ultra-wide-angle lens while shooting at any resolution, which is probably because of the low-res ultra-wide sensor. Finally, let's talk about the battery, and just like the OnePlus 12R, here too you get a larger 5500 mAh cell, and no points for guessing, the battery life here is actually excellent. On a heavy usage day, I was easily netting 6.5 hours of screen on time, and on days with moderate usage, I would get around 7 to 7.5 hours of screen on time, which is just amazing. Charging this phone is really fast too. You can get it from 0 to 60% in 19 minutes and it takes around 33 minutes for a full charge. Alright, so now it's time for me to conclude this video, and overall it's a very good phone from Realme once again. It's a very balanced offering, has good performance, nice cameras, amazing display, good haptics, great battery life. Actually, it almost has it all. But the bigger confusion is, should you go for the Realme GT6T or the Realme GT6, because these phones look so similar. So let me be straightforward here. If you like gaming and at the same time you want a slightly better camera, then adding money to get the Realme GT6 is not a bad idea. But if you want pure value, the cheaper Realme GT6T is still my pick. It has an equally nice display, comparable performance, similar haptics, same speakers, and similar battery life too. So everybody, that was all for my unboxing and full review of the Realme GT6. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notifications icon. Till then, I'm Pratima and I will be back with another review very soon. Thanks so much for watching.